Hey everyone, welcome back to Solium Infernum. I'm Disturbing Puppet, and we're playing here as Belial, Duke of Hell. So we are now a Duke. Um, so yeah, prestige-wise, things aren't looking super great, but that's partially because I did just rank up. So to rank up in Hell does require prestige. If you're higher rank, it gives you more votes when events come along, and also gives you better resources when you collect resources. So that's part of why I just did that. So I just spent 60 to upgrade to Duke. I probably will not advance any further than that because I'm not getting a huge amount of prestige. I'm actually probably doing the worst out of any of the games I have done so far, and there have been, upgrades and things as things have gone by. I do have some secret prestige that'll kick in at the very end game. Once you hit turn 50, you kind of reach a, was it 5, 6 turns, something like that, where things are going to resolve. And if you have done secret schemes, like I have done at least one, that is when you'll get your victory points kind of at the very end there. So currently the leader is looking like Murmurs. This is kind of the diplomacy screen here of what's going on. So currently I'm connected to Mammon here by the Chains of Avarice, which means he gets a little bit of a benefit, I get a little bit of a benefit when it comes to collecting resources. Not a huge deal, not a problem. Murmur's been a constant issue and problem for me, but Andrew Malice has been my main contender here. And currently Andrew Malice just insulted me, and then I responded, and we'll take a look at that in a moment. So yeah, um, if we want to look at the map overall, I still do not have control of any of the places of power. There are some around that are not under anyone's control because they're fairly strong and difficult to deal with. We did have a little bit of a heavenly incursion over here. As you can kind of see, some angels decided to come on down to hell and wreck some people's shit. That was an event. So they're now destroying one of every single various different factions' armies. So they just destroyed one of mine, so you kind of see that the Angelus hosts incursion event is still continuing. They've got one more army to destroy, I think, and then they'll just kind of head back to heaven, patting themselves on the back. We have some other events going on, so traders everywhere. We can't do stratagems, which is kind of a one-time buff that's sort of hidden that you can put on your units. So can't do that for the moment. What else is going on? I thought, yeah, Death Takes a Holiday is also going on. So we have these really cool art for a lot of these. So yeah, for 4 turns, we can't receive offerings. We can't seek tribute or manuscripts. That means no resources. So I did just upgrade, partially because there wasn't much else I could do. What I really want to do, under my powers, is get enough good resources so that I can pay to upgrade my Deceit to level 4. This will let me potentially steal more stuff from people, steal artifacts from people, but mainly it's going to give me another order, which would be really fantastic, so then I could do more stuff every single turn. It's just the cost is not something I've been able to get to. I just need a bunch of, what is this, darkness. So that's something I should probably prioritize when I'm selecting. I've been having to, because of fighting, focus on getting praetors, who are sort of your leaders that you can assign to units, or you can have guard various different places for you, or you can have assigned to your stronghold. Um, and attaching them to armies and having armies. I just had an army get wiped out by the angel, so I've got one army left over here. They're looking fairly decent. They're not that awesome. 8 ranged, 1 melee, 8 infernal, so they are getting a buff from my new praetor here. I am about to attach the Icor Vats to them, which means they will fully heal every single turn if they aren't killed, which is really good. Nice artifact. I did manage to save the leader and the artifact that were on the other unit that I had before they were destroyed by the angelic host. So if I ever can recruit another unit, we can immediately kind of do that. It does take actions, of course, to do that. So long term, what are we doing? Well, we resolved the insult from Andromalis, and then I basically said, I don't know if it'll show here. Yeah, so my result, it's not showing, at least not yet. I think it'll be declared next time. Is that I am going to take a place of power from Andromalis. That's what I'm going to do to resolve it. Usually, if you get a demand, so usually a demand from another of the hellish host would say, "Give me some resources because you're weak and pitiful," and you can say, "Fine, here you go," and you lose some prestige, or you can say, "Fuck off," and then you are at risk of them deciding they want to attack you in some way. So the three things they can do is either decide they want to steal some territory from you, which are the little hexes. They could decide to steal a place of power from you, or destroy a certain number of your legions, or they might want to challenge you to duels between your praetors, or sort of your characters that lead your units. Mostly what I've had happen is that I've had tons and tons of duels in this one, which I haven't really had in previous games before. There's been a few updates since I played the last campaign, so there's been quite a few changes, it seems like, when it comes to that. So I've won, like I had one guy who won 2 duels, then lost one. If you lose one, your character's dead. They're just gone. And then I had another one that I won. So I actually got a decent amount of prestige just by winning duels that I wasn't really expecting to. So that worked out a little bit in my favor. I don't have any places of power, so I'm not getting a huge amount of resources, but that's part of why I'm doing what I'm doing. So because it was an insult this time, not a demand, my response was that I'm going to take something from Andromalis, who is this guy down here, and we're pretty well equipped to take out this territory, although he did assign, it looks like, a leader down here. Yeah, so that's interesting. So that might make it a little bit more dangerous. So it's got an 8 melee, 13 health overall. So I can kind of look if I want to with my guys. If I attack this territory, I'll do 8 damage with my ranged. I'll take 7 damage, and then I'll do 8 damage with my magic powers. So yeah, I'll be able to take it out in one turn with one attack. So I can take it fairly quickly. I will take some damage, but because of the artifact I have on those guys, they'll heal up pretty quick. If he's got units near them, it'll help in the defense, so they can kind of bolster the defense if they're next to it. We could like wipe out his legion too first. What are your stats? Yeah, we could instantly kill this guy in ranged immediately. So we could wipe them out first, then go for the territory. That might be the better option, but we can only move a couple tiles a turn. I already have these guys moving to head down. I did have another legion down here, but they're the one that Angel ate. Yeah, I love the art and stuff. There's a lot of really cool art in this. So what am I doing other than that? So if I can capture that, that'll give me some additional prestige income. I do have a bit of problem in that Murmur is right next to me here, and has been messing with me a little bit, but not too bad. The main problem here is that I mainly do range damage with the Children of Belial, and on these tiles, if you're the defender, you take no damage from ranged. So that's a bit of a problem. So that's why the other legion I had was only a melee legion, but the angels ate them. So no problem. We'll just have to recruit somebody else later. Maybe we can eventually try to take the Unholy Fountain from Murmur if we get in a conflict with him. Yeah, as far as other stuff goes, in my ritual chamber, I'm not doing anything at the moment. So these are kind of like spells, things you can do. So one of the things that I did, I had a conflict with Murmur not too long ago, and I used Forged Orders on one of their units, because he was hanging out in these tiles here. So I said, I'm going to destroy one of your legions, and I'm going to do it in 3 turns. So I gave his legion Forged Orders, which let me give them a command. So I moved them into my territory off of one of these vents, and then I just attacked him and wiped him out. So that was what happened earlier. So I won that conflict with Murmur by doing that. And that's because I'm very focused on deceit, so I have a lot of deceit abilities and stuff. So what am I doing at the moment? Well, I can't collect income, so the first thing I'm doing is I'm attaching the artifact up here. So we're putting the stuff on the Children of Belial. They're getting with the Ichor Vats, so they're going to heal every turn. Then we're going to move my guys. Then I'm putting in a bid on an Alien God in a bottle in the Bazaar. Alien God in a bottle gives me some destruction resistance, not a huge thing, but also gives me +1 prestige, so that's +1 prestige every single turn. I will probably just attach that to my main palace once I have that, although attaching it will cost an order, but right now I can't collect resources, so why not do that kind of stuff? So that's the plan, that's what we're going to do. This game is more about taking a little while to decide what you want to do, and then things kind of quickly progress, and the turns go by pretty fast. So we'll see what happens here. I've been trying to get Mammon and Andromalis to get in a little bit of a conflict. I have a special ability to kind of do that, where I can like put the blame and say to Mammon, like, this Andromalis is talking crap about you, you should go to war. And I've done that, but it hasn't actually led to them really doing much fighting or anything. That's unfortunate. Partially, things have been interrupted by the angelic host, of course. I had an earlier time when I was on the verge of capturing the Wood of Suicides and another territory. I was going to come down and grab the Unholy Fountain with another legion, but an event came up where like all current conflicts just ended immediately, so I didn't have a reason to do it. You can't just go into your enemy's territory, take stuff over, and steal stuff. You have to have a reason or a cause, whether it's they didn't like your insult, you demanded stuff, they didn't give it to you. You have to go through that first, and it takes some time for that to go through a council. Now, I could potentially try to go for the Mines of Gehenna. If I can kill it before we get to magic phase with something, that's a possibility, but that's a lot of potential damage coming out. I think my Children of Belial, so we would do 7, then I would take 7, and then 4, which wouldn't quite kill me. So in 2 turns I could take that, but that's something I would do probably later. There is a lot of randomness in here as well, in that we only have these guys available. Hellfire Ballista looks really, really good, but it does have an upkeep, so a lot of the really good units you have to pay every single turn to keep around. And eventually that can be doable. So for right now, we're just going to do our thing. We're going to be assigning that. We're going to move. We're going to put in a bid on the God and Alien Bottle. I already selected my tribute. Yep, so we did all that. Current leader in the conclave for ruler is Murmur. We're at, what, turn 20-something? 28? So once we hit 50, then it's going to kind of progress. This is probably the least amount of prestige I've ever had in a game playing through the campaign. So yeah, just see what happens. I'm not sure who's left for the Angel to kill. The Angel is really strong, so if you don't have really good units, you don't have a chance against him at all. Mammon is on the move, looks like. But nobody can really do much of anything else. Mammon might be the last one left that needs to have a unit wiped out, I'm not sure. Okay, so I'm going to be a regent. That means that I will go first in my actions, so if there's anything that I want to do as a priority, I don't think there really is. Alright, so we are the regent, so we'll deal with this first. So I can choose a special card here that we could potentially play. Traditional bribe, random archfiend must pay a bribe of tribute or lose 10% of their prestige. That one's pretty good. Vault rot, each archfiend loses 25% of their tokens. I don't like that one. I like stealing from other people. That's what we're going to go with. We did, so event continues, Angelic Host is done, okay? We have our vendetta claimed. So your claim of vendetta against Andromalis has been validated. You've wagered 4 prestige points. You'll capture 1 place of power within 6 turns. I gave myself a bunch of time because I'm pretty far away. It gives me some time to maybe do some other stuff. We won the auction on the Alien God in a Bottle. Very nice. We can see what other people are doing. Andromalis is trying to butter up Murmur, apparently. And Murmur has insulted us. In accordance with hellish law and archfiend dictate, I hereby formally insult your deeds, your domain, and your infernal personage. So I can accept it, which means I lose some prestige, or we can declare a vendetta. So yeah, this is probably the worst way to do this, is to insult, because then I can decide what I want to do. Unfortunately, I don't have an army ready to really do much to you. And I can't really get another decent unit. We could maybe check the bazaar. Let's see. I would really like to steal a place of power from you. It's going to be very difficult. But I'm going to go ahead and do it, and we're going to do a similar thing where I'm going to give myself a bunch of time, because then I can maybe take the other guy out, then do this one. So I'm going to go ahead and set the terms. I have a little bit of time to do that. So that's my response. So even though I'm closer, I'm going to still have these guys plan on moving down to deal with Andromalis first, and take the Wood of Suicides down here. Actually, can I even get there fast enough? It's like 1 turn. 2 turns, 3 turns, 4 turns. Yeah, it'll take me 5-ish turns to get there. So I need to recruit another legion if I want to try to take anything from Murmur. So that's a bit of a problem. I might be able... I don't think I have any spells that'll speed me up. Can I get any legion at all? Can't get these guys. Can't get these guys. Can't get these guys. Yeah, that's too bad. Potentially, I could steal some resources from somebody else. So that's something I could do. So we have loot the vaults. The problem is it costs me the resource I need to get. So it cost me 4 to do this. The other thing that we can do, potentially, we could get a bribe here. So I think we're going to go bribe as my priority. Then I'm going to go ahead and assign my Alien God in a Bottle to my stronghold. So that's going to give me some additional prestige. And then I need you guys to move with a quickness to start heading down to go grab the Wood of Suicides. That's all I can do. So even though I have a bunch of other things I want to do and keep in mind, like, that's it. That's all I possibly can do. So yeah, we're just going to progress through. I know what I need to do. I'm not going to mess around too much. So it's really a factor of prioritizing what's actually important and what you have to do over pretty much anything else. Oh yeah, stand in the lava. That's going to do some damage to that legion. Now I could use Forged Orders to have his legion move into lava. That's an idea, anyway. Don't know what Vanity's Anointed does. Double dueling damage, something like that. Not a huge deal. So yeah, there's no animation for moving through your capital, so we'll just sort of teleport over, that's fine. Mammon is on the move, grabbing some territories. Murmur has summoned some additional guys. They're not very good, though. But they're the cheap one that I was looking at, so possibly I might be able to get somebody. Because he bought the one, that means another one's going to pop up. Okay, so Mammon has been visited by a functionary requiring payment of 4 tribute for assorted, non-specific, conclavical expenses. Refusal will cost them 25% of their prestige. Integrity has no place in hell. So that, I believe, goes to me. And we have an edict here to vote on, and I do have quite a bit of votes. So, a crown of thorns stained with the ichor of those similarly rewarded for their service. The stronghold of the successful candidate will receive a permanent bonus of +1 prestige per turn. And I can't vote for myself. That is unfortunate. Who is the lowest, prestige-wise, other than me? Looks like Mammon. Okay. Yeah, I mean, me and Mammon have mostly gotten along. So I'll vote for Mammon. He's given me the fewest problems. So Traders Everywhere has ended. Which one was that? Stratagems. Okay. So we now have War with Andromelis and with Murmur. Let's take a quick look at the Bazaar. We got the Chthonian Crawlers. So I could actually get these guys. They're okay. They have Ravine Walker, which actually is pretty good on this map. It lets them move across ravines. They're not very strong, but I could definitely pick them up. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. I can't collect resources. You can see it's still grayed out. Yeah, let's get these guys. I'm going to go ahead and I'll read this if we actually get them. Someone else might try to bid on them. We end up doing a little bit higher of a bid just because of the way my coins work out. That's fine. So we have that going. Once we have them, we can give them some assistance. You need to move with a quickness. Heading on down, pretty obvious I'm going to go for Wood of the Suicides here. I think I can make it in time. I wish I had something that would make me go faster. I can't give them another order after that, so I can't have them march twice, which is unfortunate. And I don't have a space to give them anything special like what's it called? Stratagem. Yeah, so a stratagem does take up one of these spots. You can use the artifacts or leaders and stuff. So what else do I want to do? Well, I would like... We're going to get another Legion. I can then give some stuff to it. It'll make them better fighters. We can then try to go for the Unholy Fountain with them, while you're going down to deal with that. We can stop a unit from moving. I don't have resources for that. We can't loot because I don't have the resources for that. Forged orders we can't do. Elocution helps me a little bit if the others are sort of doing stuff to each other. Since I'm at war, I kind of want to hold off, but most of the stuff I'd want to use costs darkness, which I don't have access to. So Infernal Negotiation is okay. It sort of makes it more expensive to kind of mess with me. Or Elocution, I get prestige if the others are sort of bickering. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. So let me get that going. It's not a huge deal, but if it can give me some passive prestige, that would be really, really helpful. Alright. Let's go. Yeah, Mammon's out here grabbing a bunch of territory. Looks like they're all trying to go for the same territory up there. Eternal Affliction, doing some damage to me. Resisted, nice. Even if it had done damage, I would auto-heal. So they're going for the Theater of Sloth, which is going to do some damage to them. But they will take it out in one turn. That's too bad. We're slowly on the move. It's going to take quite a long time to get down where I need to go. Elocution up and active. And my other Legion coming in. Nice. They're quite weak, though, which could be a bit of an issue. So if a unit dies, anything they have attached to them is gone. So if I put a leader and artifact in them, that's fine, but if they die, that stuff's just gone, period. So if someone's doing spells to, like, destroy units, that's kind of dangerous, with these guys being such low health. Let's see. We still can't collect resources, it looks like. So in the Conclave, Mammon has refused demands of Murmur. Andrew Malice is bound by chains of avarice. We won the auction. Yeah, offensively okay. We'll make them a little better by adding some stuff to it. We performed our ritual. We resisted this. It's going to tell me who did it. Murmur. Yeah, not surprised. As far as the votes go... Yeah, so it looks like I did get a vote from somebody, but I couldn't vote for myself, which really sucked. So Mammon is going to get the Laurel of Triumph. Andrew Malice is the favorite. So I have a ritual ongoing, so I could just cancel it. It won't end immediately, it'll end at the end of the next turn. But I have the resources. We'll just keep it going for now. So first things first. You guys need to beeline down here. I don't know how much time I have left. Does it tell me? 4 turns left. So 4, 3, yeah, so we'll be fine. So you guys are on the move. The next thing I want to do, although it is risky because I did have somebody just try to blow up my other legion, we could go ahead and attach something to these guys. Although they are kind of weak, we can only attach one thing. So they're 304. How does that match up over here? So I'd only do a couple damage to the Unholy Fountain as is. My options... I have an artifact and I have a Praetor. My Praetor that's free is Boon. He'll add 3 melee. So that would make it so I wouldn't at least take any damage there, but doesn't help me wipe them out quickly. And as far as artifacts go, where are my artifacts? So we have this Lash, +3 Infernal. So if I add the Lash to these guys, so they become 307. So that's 1 + 4, so they'd be doing 5 damage in a single attack. But they would take 3. I don't think they can take this, even with the Lash. I'd need to have both. Yeah, they're not strong enough. So even if I give them the Lash, they can damage it, but then they'll be so weak that they'll die the following turn during the attack before they would take it out, because it goes in that order. So they would die in the close combat phase because they have such low health. That's really unfortunate. I was hoping that they could do something themselves. We could go for a different legion. These guys are slightly better. 025. How does that pair up? They'd only be doing a couple damage. What's your health like? At least they have 6 health. So they would take 3 damage and do 2. Just by themselves, which is a little better because they can actually take the damage a little bit better. So maybe we recruit those guys. Although I hate spending a bunch of money on just recruiting stuff. Especially quite weak forces. Yeah, I didn't really look at the health on these guys, I just kind of looked at the stats that they had. Oh, they only move 1 turn also, like 1 space a turn. That's really awful. What's the move on these guys? Pretty normal at 2. We could give them a buff to their melee, or we could give them the artifact. I think those are decent options. We could try to get another scheme going as well. That would be something that would give me some prestige later. I really want the event to be done so I can actually start getting resources. I need to collect a bunch of resources, like ASAP. So what I will do... These guys can cross rifts, or ravines, which is nice. But they only have 1 movement, so... I don't think I can actually take this. Yeah, it can't be claimed because it's got a ravine in it. I could just grab some territory. We could start wandering around and grabbing some territory down here. Not that that's a big deal. But we could maybe try to move up the block access to somewhere else, potentially. These guys are so slow. Yeah, you know what? Just move up there. Actually, no. Yeah, I was thinking I could get another... I could recruit 2 legions and have both of them come down to do an attack combined together. That's something we could do. It's a very intensive when it comes to orders, but it's something we can do. So you know what? It doesn't really matter here, because if we stop on this lava, we're going to take damage, and I don't want to take any damage from being on the lava. We can't take the territory, so just get moving. And then I will also recruit the Vorpal Blades. And we'll get them moving as well. So yeah, since we have the Chthonian crawlers here, let's take a look at the encyclopedia on them. They have burrowed holes through my cellar and the beams supporting my chamber. I have seen 2 of them in the dark. Small, shiny eyes, long, fleshy torsos, tentacled or wired with the legs of a spider. Their skin shimmers from the light of my study. They click, some with their mouths, and I hear the sound of earth rubbing itself. They have made no attempt to ascend the stairs, and for that I feel no fear. My liege, grant me the manpower to exterminate these beasts before they grow too numerous. Okay. They just more look like tentacly heads, but sure, alright. So we get the other legion, we get everybody moving, maybe. I've got a bit more time to try to grab something from them. This is the priority, taking this from Andromalis. So yeah, let's just move along. But if I can start collecting resources, I might want to do that. Somebody's still trying to nuke my guys. They did take some damage there. I'm hoping it's not too much. I do heal every turn, I'm just not sure exactly the timing on that. And I've got pretty good health with these guys. They've got 12 health. So they took 3 damage, they're down to 9. Probably at the beginning of my turn, they'll get the health back, something like that. It looks like they're on the verge of fighting each other. Oh, they're zapping these guys too. Well, that's not nice. Somebody's going crazy with the spells here, which is kind of what happened in my last playthrough when I was in the lead. I just kept having units get zapped over and over again. Yeah, it looks like Mammon and Murmur are about to go at it. No, that's not where I wanted those guys to spawn in. I wanted them on the other side. At least they've got a bit more health. Looks like Andromalis ranked up, maybe, at some point. I am getting some prestige partially from my ritual going on. I think that's part of why I'm going up. Let's see, so Vendetta continues with both. So first time, Murmur. Second one, Murmur. Yeah, Andromalis ranked up to Dutch X. We got the Vorpal Blades. Oh, we can get resources again. Nice. As far as the rituals go, it is giving me some resources, so I'm going to go ahead and continue that if it's not too expensive. Yeah, I got to pay double. We'll keep that for now. That's fine. Doesn't cost an action to do that. Okay, my priority here is the earlier I do collect resources, the better the quality of the resources. So I'm going to do that right away. Then we're going to start beelining down there. These guys will heal if they're next to my base. They won't heal otherwise, which is kind of a negative thing. So I don't think I really have much of a chance at all of taking this unholy fountain from Murmur. Like, I don't think it's possible for me to take it. If these guys had 2 spots and I could attach both of my units, or not units, but my commander and my artifact, I think I could do it. Now there's a better quality unit here. +4 Infernal when attacking. That's pretty cool. 6, 2, and 5. We can almost do that, actually. You know, if I don't keep my spell going, I could get them. It's a bit crazy, but maybe I do that instead. I can kind of go back any time and just decide, no, let's not do that, I think. So if I stop it, yeah, we get our stuff back. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. I still have this in effect for this turn. It's the problem with having these, you know, some interesting stuff will pop up. So 035, and if they're attacking, it's 039. So if I were to send them over here, they would do 6 damage and take 2. And health-wise, they're pretty decent. Yeah. Oh, I can't support another Legion. Alright, fine. I didn't even realize there was a maximum number like that. Yeah, well, we've got the Vorpal Blades here. Vorpal Blades. Uffish men, see the lot of hallowed beasts in time forgot. Lay your neck across the slab and let my blade be your new man. Incantations of the Vorpal Blades as recorded by Cleric Maximus of the First Order, 3rd Circle, in his private notes towards an unfinished and untitled compilation. Yeah, if I could get these guys to level up. 025. So they take 3, they would do 2. If I could buff ranged and or close combat, that's what we want to do. If I add Boon, that's +3 melee. So that would be 055. So I take 2, I do 4. That's potentially doable. If we add my artifact, Infernal +3, that one doesn't quite work out. So that would be 028. So I take 3, I do 5. But because of the timing, I would die before I would do the final. So yeah, if we attach Boon, let's start moving over. So my priority is going to be attach Boon to these guys and head down. So somewhere along the path, we attach Boon on there. Murmur is charging on into my territory. That's going to delay things. Also probably looting my vaults. was successful. That's just going to steal resources from me, which is unfortunate. Yeah, Murmur's becoming kind of a bit of a pain, I would say. Okay, they're going to walk through the fire again. Take a little bit of damage. Okay, I'm Regent, so I'll get to go first here in a moment. And now Mammon is making a demand of me. Well, that's upsetting. So we lost a pretty decent amount of resources, actually. Unable to determine who did it as well. That's too bad. Alright, I'm the Regent, so what do we get? Paperwork restructure. Clerical error cancels all active vendettas, demands, and insults. Prestige wagers are returned, and cooldowns reset. Now, we automatically get that. I'm probably not going to do that. We got a demand from Mammon. I'm not going to look at that quite yet. As far as resources go, I really need darkness. Unfortunately, I don't have high value stuff. We'll take 4 there. Couple there. Guess we could take a couple darkness. Since I don't need the Hellfire, we'll do that. Alright, Mammon, you want some tokens, I'm gonna reject. Which will give him a reason, if he wants, to try to mess with me. How strong are you guys? 262. Okay. This is a mess. My priority's gotta be taking the Wood of Suicides. It's 080. I'm not gonna die taking it, and I can take it in 1 turn. So my priority here is gonna be military. We attack this. Very first thing we do. That'll end that. I could move these guys to try to keep them alive. But if I want to fight with the Vorpal Blades, I want to give them Boon first. So I'm going to attach Boon. .304, so if we get attacked, I'll do 1 point of damage before I die, although I will get a buff from being next to the Vorpal Blades. These guys are probably going to die, but I'm going to go ahead and just kind of move them out of the way. I can't, like, move through to attack if I wanted to, so even if I got that and then wanted to attack these guys, because he's here, I can't do that. So I'm gonna, if they survive, we'll just get them out of the way and we can maybe do some damage. Or we'll just ignore them and head on down. I might do some spell stuff to mess with them. Turns are flying by. So we do a ton of damage there in ranged, take a bit, close combat. But these guys heal every single turn, so we should be good, unless we get hit with multiple spells or something doing damage. So because we took that, he's also going to lose his Praetor that he assigned there. And now the Wood of Suicides is mine. Feels like I'm always at war with everybody in this. It kind of feels... I don't know what's going on with that, but it feels like even when I'm not in the lead, the AI is just all gang up on me. Yeah, they're going to attack. I do have some assistance, so you can see I'm getting a buff in a couple. So I did do a tiny bit of damage, but then they're going to get eaten. And my crawlers are gone. I mean, it was a risk giving them an action. Okay, he is going to zap these guys. Yeah, keep doing that because they heal every turn. I'm kind of happy with you wasting actions doing that. What Andromelis is doing there? Okay. So I won against Andromelis, which is why I now have 36. And Andromelis sent me a message. We'll see what happened with that. So order failed there. Yeah, not a big deal. Murmur, again, doing spells. Successfully beaten Andromelis. And did it continues? How much do we have? We've only got 2 turns. Yeah, there's no way we're doing that. Andromelis sent me a message. I know Murmur has defamed me. Tell me what they said, or I will raise your house before I raise theirs. Tell me! Hades' heart, this is pointless. You obviously know nothing. With vague contempt, Andromelis. Yeah, you have a certain period of time once you've resolved something one way or the other that that's it. Like, they can't do anything to mess with you. So yeah, if I were to match up here, the Vorpal Blades... Is that already shown? That's got to be already in the stats. So I'm 055. So I take 2, and I do 3 to you. That's not a great matchup. So there's no way I'm going to take this unless I do something sneaky. And I do have ways to be sneaky if I can pay for it. Forged orders? Nope, can't pay for it. Strategic confusion, I could do that. That just stops someone from moving. They're still in the way, and it would cost me to go around them. So yeah, that's kind of sucky. I think that's a good place to stop, though, for today, to kind of give you a good idea of kind of where we're at. I think we'll just continue next time. So the Wood of Suicides... Wait, do I keep this Praetor? What? That can't be right. This is mine, right? Yes, it's mine. It seems like I kept the Praetor. That can't be correct. Defeated opponent's artifacts are salvaged to the vault. Additional 4 tribute tokens of offering if attached to a place of power. Increased chance of deceit rituals will succeed. Okay. It seems like I have this guy. Let me check. Yeah, because he's attached to the location. I thought that the Praetors, if they were attached to a location and you took it, they were just gone. So you can kind of see, yeah, I'm now gaining 4 prestige. Is that right? Let's see. Give me a prestige breakdown. Can we get this to go away, please? Thank you. I thought there was a way I could see a breakdown on what I was getting. It probably is here somewhere. I'm just missing it. Okay, so yeah, it is correct. So I've got 25 cantons. I'm getting 4 prestige every turn. I've got 2 legions, so now that I have a legion die, I could get another one. 2 controlled? What? I only have 1 place of power. What are you talking about? Oh, no, it's counting my stronghold, that's why. Okay, gotcha. Understood. Can we go back, please? 3 artifacts. Guess I do, yeah. One of them's just hanging out in my, what is it, dungeon? I don't know, what is it called? In my vault. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, so we now have the Wood of Suicides. We have this guy. We're going to hang out here to kind of keep this protected, at least for the time being, I think. And I can't make it, like, all the way back up to do anything up here anyway. I could recruit another army, so we could potentially... Yeah, we could recruit the Abyssal Cavalry. That might be worth doing. I don't know if they'd spawn in adjacent to these guys, which might help if they want to attack me. But the Abyssal Cavalry could do a good job doing some damage. Alright, I'll have to think about that. Anyway, this is where we're going to end it. So this has been more of Solium Infernum. I've been Disturbing Puppet. Thanks for coming by. Hopefully I'll see you next time. Until then, have a good one.